All right, this is my practice trial number 2. Now we're going to put our GPS coordinates along with these mileages. So here's my unit circle. I have pi over 2 miles, which is approximately 1.57 miles. Memorize these approximations. If I keep walking and I land on the pi miles, that's approximately 3.14. And I keep walking, go to 3 pi over 2, that's approximately 4.71 miles. And walking a full rotation around that circle is approximately 6.28 miles. Okay. All right. Again, those are the mileages, those are the distances or the measurements of those arcs, those pieces of the circle. Now we need to talk about those GPS coordinates. Okay. So if I walk to pi over 2 miles in our normal counterclockwise position or direction, that's pi over 2 miles. But if, say, I fall and break my leg and I tell somebody, pick me up, I walked pi over 2 miles. They don't know in what direction, north, south, east, west, whatever, clockwise, counterclockwise. You can walk that many miles in any direction. If I give them my GPS coordinates, so that point right there, then they can come and pick me up. So remember, the radius of this circle is 1. So the center, the origin of the circle, out to any piece of the circle, that distance is 1. So the radius, if I am starting at 0, 0, and I move left, right, 0, and go up 1, that GPS coordinate is 0, 1. Here we go with the thickness, going to irritate my soul. All right. So 0, 1 is the GPS coordinate, x, y. Okay, that's that point. So the mileage is 1.57, or exactly pi over 2 miles. That GPS coordinate, that point on the circle, has the coordinates of 0, 1. All right, let's go to our next one. If I walked to pi, okay, so the next day I walked to pi, and I sprained my ankle. So somebody come pick me up. I said I walked about 3.14 miles. They would say, well, where? You could walk in any direction. I need to give my GPS coordinate of that exact point right there. So again, you're on the XY axis. If you start at the origin and you move to the left, remember that radius is 1. That's -1 for your x. And you didn't move up or down at all. You stayed on the axis, so that's 0 for y. So that coordinate for that famous mileage is -1, 0. All right. What if I walked a little further the next day? Okay. So now I'm going to walk. Oh, I get red. Darn it. Let me undo that. Can I undo that? Sweet. I want green. All right. Say I walked the next day all the way to 3 pi over 2, and I got the coronavirus and I pass out. So that's probably terrible to say. Anyways, what is that exact GPS coordinate? Well, if I start at the origin and I move left, right, 0, okay, because I want to get to this point down here, my x coordinate is 0, and I move down 1. Remember that radius is 1. So I move down, so it's -1. So that exact GPS coordinate of 3 pi over 2 mileage marker is 0, -1. Last but not least, I recovered from the virus, so I'm back exercising again because I gained all kinds of weight in quarantine. I go all the way around. That is the jankiest going around the circle, and I have walked 6.28 miles approximately, or 2 pi. Well, that GPS coordinate, okay, is, everybody say it together now, 1, 0. Because if you start at the origin, you go out 1, so you went right 1 for your x and up down 0 for your y. So that exact GPS coordinate for 2 pi miles is 1, 0. It's also the GPS coordinate for 0 miles. So these GPS coordinates can get repeated. Okay, so let me give you an example. yellow. If I said, hey, today, since you're feeling better, I need you to walk 3 pi miles. Okay, 3 pi miles. Well, you start at 0. You walk all the way around. There's 1 pi. There's 2 pi. And then to get to 3 pi, you got to walk here again. Okay, so you're back here. So that's also the same mile marker as pi. Pi and 3 pi are the same GPS coordinate, but different miles. Okay, one day you walked only pi miles. The next time you felt better, you walked 3 pi miles. So different arc lengths, and look at how many times you run our circle, 1.5 times, but the same GPS coordinate. Okay, so those GPS coordinates do get repeated if you land on those famous spots, and you can go around and around and around. I hate that I can't ask you guys, are there any questions as I'm teaching? This is, man, I'm sorry. This is terrible. We're going to get through it though. All right. Same thing if I said, let me see. I want more colors. Okay, whatever. Same thing if I said negative pi. Negative pi miles. Okay, let's walk that. Negative pi miles, you still start at 0. Okay, this is your starting point always. And I said negative, so you're going in the opposite direction. That negative pi miles is the same as 3 pi, is the same as pi. It's the same spot, just different mileage. Okay, same spot, different mileage. So those are all the same spot. Okay. And you can keep going around the circle as much as you want in either direction. Okay. Now just notice that if you were to walk, so 3 pi miles, if you were to walk 4 pi miles, you would land here at the starting point, and you keep walking 5 pi miles, 6 pi miles. So 5 pi is here, 7 pi is here. So these are all your odd pi's. And then over here, 4 pi, 6 pi, these are all your even pi guys. I spelled pi. So different distances, different mileages, same GPS coordinates. Okay, that's what you gotta understand the difference between. Every mileage marker has a GPS coordinate attached to it. Those are your basics. Those are the ones you should know from 1050. The other ones that I had you fill out over break, which we're gonna do, all the ones in between, all the famous guys in between, that's 1800 stuff. That's what you're gonna have to have all of these memorized, and don't worry, you can do it. You'll be fine. Okay, and then we're gonna start talking about sine and cosine and all that good stuff. All right. Wouldn't be jacked up again if I just, oh, I was recording. Oh, okay, sweet. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I wish I could ask you guys questions right now. This is so annoying that I cannot. Oh, let me just write on here, start. And I should have wrote it on the other video, but whatever. I talked about it before we left for break, and you always walk counterclockwise. All right, we'll end that there.